China's announcement of the development of their first-ever long-range strategic stealth bomber, the Xian H-20, has sent shockwaves through the international community, sparking concerns about a potential shift in the balance of power. As the United States currently holds the monopoly on strategic stealth bomber fleets with the likes of the B-2, China's H-20 prototype poses a significant challenge to American dominance in this field. This development marks a new era in the arms race. China's military even revealed a video showing the H-20 prototype in a flush air data sensing wind tunnel test. Some experts believe that this is a distraction to keep the final wheel configuration of the H-20 secret. The new Chinese stealth bomber is the type of aircraft that can be used to destroy an entire enemy airfield or soften up defenses for an invasion. The H-20 could have major ramifications for a possible invasion of Taiwan if it's able to evade their air defense systems. The question arises as to how China obtained this technology in the first place. In 2014, Chinese-backed groups based in Canada conducted a highly publicized cyber attack, stealing over 630,000 documents from U.S. companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing. These documents included several blueprints on the F-22 and F-35 programs, which helped China augment the stealth capabilities of upgraded J-20s. Soon after, in 2016, the People's Liberation Army Air Force commander publicly announced that China was developing a new generation of long-range bombers that would see first production within the next decade. While the exact composition of its stealth properties or radar signature-reducing technologies may not be fully known, available photos and renderings reveal an aircraft which one could say seems in some respects to be indistinguishable from a US B-2. There appears to be a fair amount of evidence, simply available to the naked eye, to demonstrate China's potential copycat maneuver. However, some aviation experts believe that the H-20 could have a unique design and look, despite its initial resemblance to the American B-2 bomber. Andreas Ruprecht, a Chinese military aviation expert, shared images of the prototype on Twitter, stating that there were hints, including in academic papers, that some sort of foldable fins might be incorporated. Many of you will also likely notice the similarity to some of Russian and Chinese recent drone designs. China has a long history of copying military hardware, from small arms to tanks. If they can get their hands on a new set of blueprints, there's a good chance that they're going to try to make a version of it, and they certainly aren't shy about it either. This has led to the arrest of 160 U.S. citizens since 2000 on espionage charges for selling classified information to China. However, China's military doesn't need to entirely rely on stealing information. They can go picking through U.S. garbage, and there were rumors and reports flying around in the late 1990s that China had gotten hold of a crashed American stealth F-117 Nighthawk that was shot down in Yugoslavia. The United States also engages in the practice of stealing or copying foreign military equipment that they like, and it's often considered the greatest form of flattery, even if it's really illegal. According to sources, Chinese engineers could have reverse-engineered radar-avoiding technology. It is believed that this technology was obtained with the help of an American who was arrested in 2005 for selling classified stealth technology to China. The man, who was the chief designer of the American B-2 stealth bomber, claimed to be the father of the technology that protects the B-2 stealth bomber from heat-seeking missiles. So, now the question is what we truly know about China's H-20. The reality is that we don't know a lot, but we can make some assertions with a certain degree of confidence. Firstly, the H-20 is likely to be a flying wing design that is similar to America's B-2 Spirit. This design offers numerous advantages in terms of stealth. It limits the aircraft's visibility not only against targeting radars that use X or other high-frequency bands, but also against early warning low-frequency radar bands. This is extremely important for the type of operations that deep-penetration heavy payload bombers, like the H-20, are tasked with. These bombers need to fly deep into enemy airspace, often without an escort, and deliver their munitions. In the modern era, the only real way to accomplish this is by being virtually undetectable. The H-20 is expected to be nuclear capable, which would firmly establish China's own nuclear triad. This triad consists of land-based missiles, submarine-launched missiles, and long-range nuclear strategic bombers. The concept of a nuclear triad is designed to ensure mutually assured destruction. It limits an opponent's ability to wipe out your entire nuclear arsenal in any single attack. Even in a large nuclear onslaught that takes out all of your land-based missiles, you'll still have aircraft in the air and submarines at sea that can launch a reprisal. In other words, having a nuclear triad ensures that you can hold a nuclear gun to your opponent's head, no matter how devastating their initial attack might be. Thomas Newdick, in his analysis for the war zone, provides a well-put-together analysis of the likelihood of the H-20 taking flight soon. He highlights that the stealth bomber may carry an active electronically scanned array radar and specialize in deploying long-range munitions, such as subsonic low-observable cruise missiles, probably via an internal rotary launcher that is similar to the one leveraged by America's heavy-payload B-52 Stratofortress. If intelligence assessments of the H-20's potential range prove accurate, cruise missiles could help close the apparent range gap between the H-20 and the B-2. The Pentagon believes that the H-20's range is at least 5,280 miles, as compared to the B-2's nearly 7,000. The question then arises as to how stealthy China's H-20 could be. Is it comparable to America's B-2 Spirit, which has had stealth technology since the 1980s? Or is it more like the forthcoming B-21, which is still in development? While it is difficult to provide a conclusive answer, it is believed that China has made rapid progress in modernizing its military, including fielding one stealth fighter and moving towards placing a second into service. However, to date, China has not demonstrated the same capacity as the United States for fielding extremely low observable platforms. China's current stealth fighter, the J-20, is believed to have a very small radar cross-section from directly head-on. However, the aircraft itself is still considered far more observable than either of America's stealth fighters' radar cross-sections or the size of an aircraft's radar return. The radar cross-sections or size of an aircraft's radar return are not only rarely publicly disclosed, but are also difficult to calculate and vary depending on the angle of observation or where the radar array is in comparison to the aircraft. Expert assessments of the J-20's radar cross-section range from around a half a square meter to 3 square meters. This is in contrast to the F-22's reported radar cross-section of 0.001 square meters or the F-35's slightly larger 0.015 square meters. While the J-20's stealth profile is harder to detect than Russia's Su-57 Felon, it does not appear to be on par with the least detectable fighters of its generation. In fact, there is little evidence to suggest that China will be able to match, let alone leapfrog, the B-2's low observable capabilities. The B-2 Spirit's commonly accepted radar cross-section is usually around 0.1 square meters, which is significantly smaller than even the lower estimates for the J-20. This is despite the B-2 having a 172-foot wingspan. Of course, a great deal of the difference could be attributed to the B-2's flying wing design. However, there is still very little evidence to suggest that China's first effort at this sort of low observable flying wing design will manifest in performance that is equal to America's B-2 Spirit. Even if China's H-20 manages to prove as low observable as the B-2 Spirit, the nation will still be at a number of significant disadvantages. The most prominent disadvantage is that America is fielding its own next-generation bomber, the B-21 Raider, which is said to be significantly stealthier than the B-2. Beyond that, it is important to understand that mission planning is one of, if not the most important, components of any stealth operation. The United States benefits from decades of experience operating these types of platforms. While America's stealth bomber monopoly may soon be ending, its stealth reign does not appear to be over yet. As they say about most military equipment, its usefulness is only as smart as how it is being used. Until our next story.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories.